I'm not sure that I did any actual damage to the Long Now Foundation or to Brian Eno or to any related legitimate interests, but it's been 12 years since I left the United States and 13 years since I left San Francisco, roughly, and I think things have become a lot more clear to me now, so I'm comfortable explaining myself better a little bit. I guess people have some idea what was going on. When I lived in San Francisco for about 6 years, for economic reasons, it became increasingly necessary for me to sleep less than 6 hours a day. And at the end of things, it was very normal for me to show up at McDonald's for a full shift or longer with less than 1 hour of sleep, and it worked well because of who I am and what I can do. So I still have this McDonald's uniform shirt that they would see me show up in to volunteer for the Long Now Foundation, and it's a real shirt. It was never a joke. I think some people thought it was a joke. It wasn't. I had a lot of different jobs, and that was one of them. I wear this shirt because it gives me a weird kind of confidence. Okay, on with the explanation. Consequence of chronic sleep deprivation and chronic malnutrition is that people are confused a lot of the time, and I think I'm confused, or I was confused a lot less than a lot of people. But when I would get confused, it was really weird. So my kind of bad luck was that my greatest musical idol, Brian Eno, writer of my favorite song, "The Bell Dog," was an important person at the Long Now Foundation, and I was volunteering at the Long Now Foundation not because of who was involved with it, but because of what he was doing. Okay, so I showed up to do the usual thing, and people seemed to be happy to have me keep showing up and keep doing it. And I was suddenly told, okay, here's Josh, here's Brian, and we want you to help him with this weird thing. And at that moment, I reasonably could wonder whether or not I was hallucinating. It was a dilemma. Should I assume I'm hallucinating or not? And for some reason, I kind of took the middle path on that. And I think that made people a little bit uncomfortable. And it probably wasn't the first or last thing that I did that made people uncomfortable, but I must have been a pretty good volunteer. They made me an honorary charter member of the Long Now Foundation, and it is my hope that in the long term I will find some way to warrant or justify that gift to me, that membership. In the meantime, I need to apologize specifically to Brian Eno. I would go through a list of everybody involved in the organization and apologize to them individually if they need it. In the meantime, I will apologize to them collectively. I'm sorry that I could not only do well, but also seem like the person that should be doing those things. There were no illegal drugs involved. It was just a lot of caffeine. I got a lot of free caffeine at McDonald's and oddly a lot of other places. San Francisco, if it does not do other things for you, it will expose you to sources of free caffeine. And I took advantage of all of them. So there it is. If you have any questions, that is people involved with the Long Now Foundation, if you have any questions about specific things that seemed weird at the time, please go ahead and ask me. I have lived in Bogota, Colombia now for 12 years, and I am eating very well. I am sleeping very well, and I am living, especially considering COVID, what I think most people would call it a very, very normal life. And I'm grateful to have had any reason not to leave San Francisco more quickly. Thank you.